What is up, everybody? We're back. I think this is episode 939. We got the PWCC weekly auction this week. Lots of cards. I was able to go through a bunch last week. Going to go through a bunch more this week. Share the screen, look at them, the whole 9 yards. I think I might share the screen and show a bunch at the same time. You'll get a kind of a heads up of what I'm looking at. I had some thoughts about this week's auction. Went into it, looking for certain particular players. I can kind of get into why, in a second. Went into it, looking for certain cards. Found a few, and then, as often happens when you go into the PWCC auction, you kind of head down a rabbit hole. You'll find a card or four that you're like, oh wow, I need to bid on that. I need to that one. I have to add that one to my collection, right? So if you are with the amount of cards, the thousands of cards are in this, if you're a player collector, if you happen to like the Joker, or if you are a Julio Rodriguez guy, or if you are somebody who is looking for, any particular player, type that right into the search, and you're going to find cards. I mean, I looked for, the player searches I did Mike Trout, and there were 40 or so Mike Trout cards that fit my Mike Trout categories as PSA 10 Mike Trouts. Baseball season coming up. I think he's going to have a good season. We can talk about that in a second. A couple of fun tools with the PWCC, weekly auction. Take a look at two things. I like to mention these because I think it's good ways to find cards that, maybe overlooked at the moment, especially because there's just so many auctions out there. The flash, you can click on flash and you'll see all of the thousands of items that were just flashed into this. And what flash means is, they were inserted as the auction was already going. So if somebody looked at this auction, early on, they might not have seen these particular flash items. And if you're looking to buy, if you click flash, it's something that could have been put in as recently as Wednesday. So if you're looking at this on Saturday night or Sunday morning, you might be able to find a card that's only been listed for a couple of days, and might be in there, where someone's looking for quick liquidity. You might be able to, find a card for yourself. The other one is Power Buyer. It's my favorite feature on this. It's made for dummies like myself, where it's cards that are currently bid at a significant discount to their appraised price. PWCC has a value for the cards that are being sold. They value everything that's in their vault. They have to insure all the cards that are in their vault. They have all these, evaluations on them. So, it makes it easy. Okay, this card is currently being bid, and it's nowhere near what, the appraisal price would be. So you're able to kind of, filter it by bargains. So let's see if I'm able to do this. I'm going to try to share the screen, and maybe we can see four cards at the same time. Let's see whether or not I'm able to do this. I think I did it kind of all right last week. So let me see if I'm able to do this again. Let's take a look. And let's share that screen. I hope I'm sharing it. We can take a look now. It looks like I am. I got 4 cards here that we're going to look at. It's not exactly, too large. Let me see if I can fix that up. Let me see. We can share the screen here. Let's do it like that. There we go. Okay, so you see the 4 of them right there. And basically what we're looking at here is, first one is Josh Allen, right? So we're looking at the Josh Allen. I looked for him specifically, right? Did not have, a great end to the season, didn't make that, final run of QBs there. It wasn't in there with Burrow and, with Mahomes. Heck, Trevor Lawrence has a little more run on him right now. And what we're looking at here is a 2018 Panini Prism Josh Allen Blue in PSA 10. None higher, obviously, because it's a 10. There are 8 10s. Really cool looking color match card here. A card that, I think would have sold for more if he wasn't, unceremoniously exited from the playoffs. I like the color match. I went with a little bit of a color match theme here. You'll notice the next card is one that Andrew talked about a lot. It's the Joker. Right now, I want to call him a runaway MVP candidate here. It is the 2015-16, because, basketball goes over 2 seasons. Prism's Light Blue. It is a Gem Mint 9.5 with 3 9.5s and a 9 corner. Andrews talked about this card as one that it's difficult to pry away from Joker owners. And, So here's one. You don't have to pry it away from somebody and pay a crazy price. It's right there for an auction. They're number one in the West. A lot of people think he's going to win his third straight MVP. Betting odds right now have him as the odds-on favorite, almost a prohibitive favorite. Um, if you think he's going to win the MVP, you think he's going to do some damage in the playoffs. It might be a decent time to jump on this one. Next one over, I stuck with basketball. Another color match. I like this. A lot of people don't love green. For a Celtic, for Tatum, this is a cool card. It's the PSA 10 2017 Prism Rookie color match green. Currently at $1,275. This card was significantly more than that. Tatum's kind of cooled off after a really hot start. But as we go into the playoffs, there's only a handful of teams that I think can really, really make a run. And in the East, I don't know if Philadelphia might be able to put it together, but it's the Bucks and the Celtics, really. I'd have a hard time, really thinking that anybody else is going to, advance. And Tatum was real close last year. With the season he's had, if they're able to put some playoff success together, this is one of those cards that could really move. The last one of the four that's there, I'm going to click on it. Maybe, it'll make it a little bit larger there. There you go. That is the 1997 Ultra Court Masters Michael Jordan in PSA 9. This is a card you just don't see that often. It's not numbered, right? So, they were starting to make numbered cards towards the late 90s. But look at it. Interesting card here with the, both Bulls jerseys. You got pictures of them. You could hold the card, upside down, and it still says Court Masters either way. You just don't see this card at auction too often. So when I noticed this one, I was like, oh man, I gotta pull that one out and take a look at that one. Court Masters Jordan. If you're a Jordan collector, that's just one of those cards that you just don't see that often. All right, so it looks like we've stopped sharing screens, which is good. I like that. So anyway, we can do that. Let's see. I'm gonna see what else we got going on here. We did the Jordan. One of the guys that I was looking for in this auction, it's a play on what I just talked about with the Joker. Right? There's only one player I think that could potentially catch him this year in the MVP race, and I like this card. I'm going to share it right now. I know there's a lot of them. I know it's a base card. I know we hate base cards, but this is old enough where the pop on it is not as crazy as some of the base that are out there now. And if you think about how much people are paying for base cards, the Giannis from 2013, this card was a lot of money. What was this card at? $7,000 in PSA 10 for a while. Here we are with the Giannis Prism Rookie. I know it's an auction. It's probably not going to stay this low, but I noticed 3 of these in this weekly auction. 3 PSA 10s. One at $575, one at $550, one at $525. So what does that tell me? It tells me as a bidder, I don't necessarily have to jump on this card now because they're not exactly rare if there's 3 of them in the weekly auction. But the flip side is, if there's 3 of them in the weekly auction, you need a bunch of people to be bidding on them to bid them up high, right? You're going to have 3 different people wanting to buy these cards and bid them up to each one win. And even if 3 are out there bidding, hopefully one bids on one bids on another, and they don't get bid up too high. I pulled this one out because it happens to be the lowest bid. I think there's room on this. If Giannis, 1 seed, Giannis continues to play the way that he's playing, I mean, Giannis can win another championship this year. I would have a hard time right now betting against the Bucks, the way that team is playing and the way that he is playing. He's playing at an MVP level and not winning the MVP, but he's already won an MVP and he's already won a championship. So this card is getting down to a point in price where, it's soon low enough, if it's not already there, that it's worth taking a flyer on. I was looking at Giannis cards. I noticed that there were quite a few of them. If you're a Joker fan, you have your Joker. If you're a fan of Giannis sneaking up on Joker, maybe stealing the MVP from him, or I think Giannis would sign up for this now. He could come in second in the MVP or third as long as he comes in first and winning another championship. Um, anyway, it's just a fun one. Old slab on this next card, but I love it, and I love the fact that it's coming back down into the pricing wheelhouse that I like. I'm going to share the screen with you. I own one of these cards, so let's throw it out there. It's definitely come down in price, back to where I think it's now a buy. None other than Barry Sanders, his 1989 score football. Barry Sanders rookie. Everybody knows this card when they see it. The cool green border. I think the price that it's at now, $775, is probably in part because of this old PSA label. I don't mind old PSA labels. You can get this, reslabbed with a new PSA label if that's your thing, and maybe get it at a discounted price. I mean, there's a cult following for Barry Sanders, huge fan base for him. You see what his cards sell for as a non-quarterback. He's up there at the top of the list, if not the top of the list for running backs. You talk about running backs that, really carry a price. Jim Brown, Barry Sanders. I mean, you have another tier like Emmitt Smith that's in there, and some other running backs, but really Barry Sanders, he's in a class of his own. One of the few non QB players that people buy and people collect. So I saw this one, so it come back down under that $1,000 price tag, and this is just one of those cards that when people ask me, hey, I have $10,000, I want to start buying a collection of cards. I always say, if you have 10,000, $1,000 of it should go here. Go ahead and grab a Barry Sanders. I got a couple other ones that I do as kind of staple cards to build up a nice collection. This was always one that I gave, and I'm happy to see it coming back into this price range. Just more people are able to grab one. So we got some football, we got some basketball. Let's see. Did we do any baseball yet? I don't know. We didn't do any baseball yet, did we? So I got a couple of baseball cards. Let's just do this one. I did this last week. I was going to do it at the end, but I'll mix it up. I try to find cards for folks that that show what the weekly auction can do. If you're a Mike Trout collector, if you're somebody who believes in Mike Trout as one of the better players, if not the best player of the generation, which I think he is. And you collect his cards. This card you don't see too often. You definitely don't see it that often in a PSA 10 because it's one of those interesting ones that comes from the complete set. It's the foil board parallel. And there it is, a 2019 Topps complete set Mike Trout foil board. These are numbered out of 162. So there's 162 in any grade. This is a PSA 10. Cool card. I like these foil boards. They're kind of like like a chrome speckle, variant on the card. Cool picture of him, reaching up, catching a ball. But what really stuck out to me about this is it's $29. And what I was trying to show here for folks is if you start digging in the auction and you want to look for Mike Trout PSA 10 cards, this was not the lowest priced one. There were several below this. This I just thought was cool because it's numbered and you don't see it that often. But there are dozens of Mike Trout cards for collectors in any price range in this auction. So part of what I was looking at here was, all right, whatever you're into, whoever you collect, there's most likely something there for you. I did the same thing last week with Michael Jordan, and I don't know if you guys remember, I have a soft spot for Michael Jordan Olympic cards. 92. The Olympic Dream Team, I was 15 years old that summer. I remember watching the games. I love the Skybox Dream Team card. I love the Hoops one. Last week I gave a 91 Hoops card that had the Olympic team in it. It was sort of like one they made before the Olympic team came out. The 92 one, they had the basketball tournament where they actually were able to show pictures of them in their the USA jerseys. So let me share the one that I found. And it's another PSA 10 Michael Jordan from the 90s. And when I share the screen, you'll see currently $11. Cool Jordan Hoops USA. There he is with his number 9 jersey. I don't know that it stays this low because it's an auction, obviously, but it wasn't even the cheapest one. There are other Michael Jordan cool ones. I saw another cool one that I was going to use. It looked like a collector's choice from '99. Jordan's kind of fading away, and he's wearing the 45. Not a lot of cards of him with the 45 jersey on it, and he's wearing it in that one. That was another cool one that I was going to pick out also. But just the point here, I like this card. If it stays at $11, I'll bid on it. You don't get a chance to get too many Michael Jordan PSA 10s, from the 90s. I have an affinity for the Olympic team cards. I like them. I have the Skybox one where he's kind of passing the ball. There's one of those in this auction also. It's a little more money than this, though. Point again, just like with the Trout, is you can find something for anyone, whoever you collect in this auction. Even an $11 Michael Jordan card. So let's go back. We're going to go back to my favorites on this auction before I share the screen. We've showed a bunch. There are two of these. I'm just going to pull up one. It's funny. In this year, there are actually two versions of this card. One's like card number 3 and one's later on in the set. They're approximately the same price. So you guys will just bear with me that there's two of them. I'll just show you one. Same kind of thing. Cool things that you see in the weekly auction of GOATs. There are folks out there that do runs of gold, right? LeBron golds, Tom Brady golds. Here is an '08 Topps Chrome Tom Brady gold refractor. Now, the Topps Chrome golds are a little interesting because different years and different sports have different parallel numbers. This is out of 199. It's a PSA 10. There's only 12 PSA 10s, and it's currently sitting at $525. Obviously, it's not a rookie. There are only so many years of Topps Chrome Gold for Tom Brady. So here's one. There's a similar one. You know what? I'll just pull up the other one also. You notice this one here. It's TC3. He's kind of got the ball, pulled back, almost tuck rule, and he's about to throw it. The other one has the ball in a little bit of a different position. I'll show it anyway, just because it's interesting. It's something that I learned, right? I looked at this. I'm like, oh, there's two of the same card in this auction? That's weird. They're both Tom Brady 2008 Topps Chrome Gold refractors out of 199. Is this one here less money because of the old slab on it? Is that really what's going on? It's got an older PSA slab. And no, I looked a little closer and realized there must be two Bradys in the set. So I don't know, this one I think is probably what his NFL MVP. They probably put a second card in the set denoting that he won the MVP in 2007. So you see similar card. This one, he has the ball, at his chest instead of, off to the side. You see a slightly different picture, but the same. One was TC3. This is TC 163. This one's slightly less money. Both really cool looking cards. I always like the '08, with the team color circles on the card. Again, there are a lot of Brady cards in this auction. That's some of the cooler ones that I found. But if you're, somebody looking to add some Brady stuff to your collection, plenty of Brady's. I think I have one more card, and it's funny as a Raider fan. This is somebody I liked, but I knew not to invest in him because I knew the Raiders weren't going to do anything. And when you talk about, investing in players, a lot of the time you want to find somebody who's got a chance to win a championship, got a chance to actually, win some playoff games. This year, unless Andy Dalton has a heck of a season, during the regular season, this guy will take over the lead as the most touchdowns for an active quarterback without a playoff win. That's not something you want to be. It's like Crash Davis, right? In Bull Durham, you set the record for most home runs in the minor leagues. Yippity doo! That just means you were in the minor leagues so long and not in the majors. It's great that you're throwing this many touchdowns, but Derek Carr, my Raiders quarterback, I'm going to share the card with you. He has a lot of touchdowns. They're all in the regular season. He had that one game here against the Bengals and came up short 2 playoffs ago. He never won a playoff game with the Raiders. Basically played at an MVP level. So I'm sharing with you a really cool card here. It's the 2014 Topps 5-star. This is a rookie NFL Shield patch auto. All right. I was going to just buy this myself, but we do these auctions. Some of these cards get buried in here. I want you guys to see these things. I want you to realize, how many cool cards there are in these PWCC auctions. Look at this. It's a Shield rookie autograph. It's an 8 for the card. It's a thick card, so it's a tough grade. The auto is not exactly, the cleanest autograph as well, but it is a rookie patch, one of one Shield, right? And this is a pretty cool card. I'm gonna throw a little bit of ice water on this. If you look at the back of the card, this is a 2014 Topps card. It says the relic contained in this card is not from any specific game, event, or season. So that's not so spectacular. It's the autograph's guaranteed, but it's still a rookie Shield auto one of one. If this card came out now of any of the rookie quarterbacks, think of how much this would sell for. Derek Carr is not a rookie quarterback. He's had some real success in the league, and he made a move this year. He's going to the Saints. Now, he's in a division with some really bad quarterbacks. Right? He's in a division with the Falcons, who, as we currently stand, are going with Desmond Ridder, where he's in the division with Tampa Bay, and with the retirement of Tom Brady, they are with Kyle Trask. Carolina is currently sitting with PJ Walker as their quarterback, but they just traded for the number one pick. And even though it's likely to be Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, neither of those guys are going to be ready to compete, especially when Carolina traded DJ Moore, their best wide receiver, to get that quarterback who's now going to have nobody to throw to. What does it mean? It means if I were a betting man, and I'll be in Vegas for the Mint, so I might actually touch some of this, I think Derek Carr has the easiest division to win in football. I think he was very smart to go and play for the Saints, who were really a quarterback away. Hopefully Michael Thomas is healthy. Hopefully Alvin Kamara has his stuff figured out. You got a team there with some offense, a decent defense, but most importantly, a really bad division that Tom Brady was ever able to win basically himself last year with the Bucks with a 500 record. You know what I mean? So I love this for a bunch of reasons. I mean, you're really thinking ahead with it, and you're really you're getting a jump on this because this just happened. He just signed this week. Not a lot of people looking at Derek Carr cards except for maybe Vegas Dave. The NFC is the easier conference, guys. Where we've seen the quarterback dominoes fall. You see the gauntlet of the AFC. The NFC lost Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers still may go to maybe the Jets. I don't know where Lamar Jackson is going to end up, but the NFC does not have a powerhouse team and is likely going to lose the two best quarterbacks that were in the NFC last year and have been in the AFC for decades. So Brady was in the AFC, but you know what I mean. So I love this. I love the idea here, and I think Derek Carr is actually a buy. Yes, Vegas Cage, Vegas Dave, say what you like, but this is a cool card, and the thought process behind it is what I want you guys to kind of also pay attention to. So we've got some Giannis, we've got some Joker. We've got some Derek Carr. We've got all kinds of fun stuff in this auction. Those are the cards that stuck out to me in the PWCC weekly auction. I'm sure if you take a minute to kind of get in there, start looking for your player or your team, you're probably going to find some bargains in there as well. I would say, I think I showed 11 cards here during this show. I would say half of them, at least 5 of them were cards that I was not looking for when I opened up the auction and decided, let me look for, what we have here to talk about on the show. And there's even a few more that I put some bids on myself. So maybe I got to keep some of the Griffey cards for myself, guys. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy this show. Let me know what you think. And good luck bidding on the PWCC weekly auction this week. Take care, everybody. With nearly 40 years as the most trusted resource for collectors,
dating back to the first Beckett magazine in 1984. Beckett has been the brand that bridges generations of the hobby. We're happy to be partnering with Beckett and look forward to keeping you all updated on the big things happening at the company in 2023. Beckett. It's the name you know and the name you can trust.